How did this morning go?
Oh, I just was like as excited. It's our first day back from our quarter break, and I feel like we got.
Yeah, I think it's been 2 weeks since in real life since we actually vlogged anything. I don't know what it is in YouTube land.
Right. Yeah.
We're back.
I feel like the school routine went really well with the kids this morning, and we got we planted for the first time with you this morning, and we did double what you normally do. You think Leela needs some yogurt?
You guys raiding the fridge? You want some yogurt or something? Yeah.
So it just felt good. Like I came down, it was 12:30, and I was like, okay, let's make some lunch. We got the school done, we got the planting done, laundry's in there good.
Yeah, and it was your first time actually planting with me.
It was my first time planting, yeah.
Yeah, so any surprises there?
No, I think it was just a little bit, I find for me, I tend to get a little bit antsy when I don't know the system. So it's easier for me to come in and just kind of take over and be like, okay, this, that, right?
Yeah.
And to come in and be kind of like, you already have your system and try to figure out, okay, what am I supposed to be doing here?
It was our first time trying to involve all the kids.
Yeah.
I've like done it with one at a time basically before, so.
Boys working hard over here, getting the dirt for the pans. Like I find in general, I think a tendency, and I see this in a lot of women, I think it's just sometimes easier to focus, is that you just want to be like, just leave me alone, let me focus, let me get my stuff done, and then, you know, and so I think that one of the things for this was just going, I knew that I was coming to help you plant, but I also knew that we have a baby that needs pretty close monitoring and a toddler that somewhat needs monitoring, and some kids that are not used to planting 100% either. So
You
there's
don't
kind of
get
this.
into trouble, do you? You're working on, I don't know what you're working on. Splash in the water.
So there was this kind of a little bit of hesitancy, I guess, because when you're like, okay, let's all plant together, it's like, okay, I feel like I'm half in kind of, because I'm like, I have to be observing the baby and helping with the kids, and then I can't totally be in, and I haven't done this before. So you're kind of like, I don't know, just feeling this restlessness because you can't really get all the way in. Trevin's on dirt duty. Why do you need a sandbox? You just have a dirt box inside.
So, now Anya, you fill up the watering can.
I mean, I feel like it went pretty good. It's just like, I have to kind of stand back and observe, but I think what I was kind of starting to find my job is that when you're 100% focused, it's hard to get the kids involved because you don't realize that they're not, it's hard to go, okay, how do I get them involved? So I was like, you get more focused, and then I was more like, okay, what does Anya need? Job for Anya, okay, Trevlin. So I was able to kind of see the kids that, can we give them something to do? And then I could be on the observational, watch the baby. And so I think that helped just in terms of keeping things more efficient with the kids being busy. And then you could be kind of focused a little bit more too with them and the work that you're trying to get things ready. And then I was able to help Leland, but I basically came in, I was like, I'm not gonna do too much, I'm gonna be in this observation role because I can't be 100% in. Anya's working on getting this thing drained.
Where's your
Nice, spreading those seeds. We got Keenan spreading, getting the sunflowers in.
learning to work as a team, right? And that's why we started this business. Like we wanted to start a business and do something, but the reason we chose this one was so that we could involve the kids. And that's
Not working.
You know, like in anything, kids slow you down a little bit, and that's usually a good thing, but at the same time it takes, I don't know, it takes some work on our part to slow down and let them and be inefficient at first to figure out how to involve them.
Well, like I think often we tend to think so marginal, right? It's like you feel like kids slow you down in the moment, and so you just do it yourself all the time. And it's always like, it'd just be so much faster to do it myself. And so we get in that system, but then we never train the kids. And the reality is, it might slow you down for a little bit, but if we can start training them to get into a system with this planting, it is going to be so much faster in the long run. And I don't feel like it's going to take that long to get them there. He's hungry.
Do you need some grapes or something, buddy? The yogurt didn't work, so you need to take things into your own hands. Yeah, so in 2 weeks, we are going to have a trade show in town that Jill's dad got us a booth at, along with some of the other family businesses and things that are going on. So we're going to be able to represent our, kind of put our business out there, talk to people about it, hopefully make a whole bunch of sales and get some exposure. So today is the biggest planting we have ever done thus far. We did 12 trays this morning because we've got a big event coming up in 2 weeks. We've got a big trade show that we're going to be at, and the hope is that we could maybe sell out at the trade show, get a sales boost and at the same time kind of just generate that awareness, get some recurring customers, things like that. We want microgreens in the hands of lots of people because we know that a good percentage of those people will come back at some point and buy more. So, but that's kind of what we're shooting for in 2 weeks. That'll be a pretty big boost for the business. We've been running ads now for I think a month, probably spent about $100, $120 maybe on ads. Got some sales off that. Just to catch you guys up on the week that you missed, I actually wish I had vlogged that week. The week before the quarter break, we just needed to put our head down and finish off some things, and wasn't sure what was going to happen, and we were kind of a little bit discouraged in some ways. I think we cried a fair bit that last week. But at the same time, some really good things also happened. We ended up ending the week pretty encouraged because we ended up with some of our biggest orders we'd ever had. Some people buying like 5 packs at a time, which is crazy. Some of the ads actually started bringing some people in. That was super exciting. Things are coming along, but like any business, it takes time. But with this business, it's just going to be a slow growth. We're not having to make it happen right away, which is super nice. And sometimes that pressure can be useful, but sometimes it's also not useful. It makes you do things that aren't the right decision. There was an experiment that was done on Twitter where somebody gave ChatGPT the instructions: your job is to make as much money in 30 days as possible without breaking any laws. I'm your human counterpart. I'll do whatever you say, but I can't make any decisions. You have to make the decisions. And it was this live experiment running on the internet. People were very fascinated by it. The guy ended up built this website to sell this product that was kind of in all ChatGPT. Even whatever he posted on Twitter was completely ChatGPT wrote it all, and people were investing money. But in the end, we don't really know whether it even ever made him any money. And a YouTuber named Reshape ran a similar experiment where he had ChatGPT invest for him, and he was able to kind of track whether ChatGPT would have been able to make money. And his instruction was, I want you to be able to make as much money on the stock market as possible in 30 days. And he ran the experiment 50 instances to see whether it would make any money. And every time it lost money. And basically the flaw in the experiment wasn't really a good experiment, because the presupposition to the experiment is to make as much money as possible, as fast as possible. And that speed causes you to take risks and do things that may not make any economic sense in the long run. And so sometimes pressure is good, and some people really need that pressure. I find that we perform better with a little less pressure, because we start doing things that don't make as much sense in the long term when we have that pressure, and start filling our time, start getting overwhelmed. And when there's the time to just slow down, let things happen a little bit, and not worry about it, it makes the journey a little bit more enjoyable. Hopefully we're making better decisions along the way. I don't know if any of that's any good. Whoever's editing this can.
With that, I was going to say, Dallas, is that part of it is that we've always kind of felt like we needed more money to have the lifestyle we wanted. And so you're kind of waiting like, okay, if we can get a business to work, and then we'll do this, right? Mm-hmm. And when we actually sat down and started dreaming, we realized a lot of the lifestyle we wanted didn't actually cost money. It was things like...
It's amazing how many times we came to that conclusion.
It wasn't
waiting
like
for something, and then we were like,
vacations or anything. It was about the relationships and the community and like the overall like home, day-to-day home. And it was like, this doesn't actually cost money, as far as like, it's not expensive. You need your basic living expenses, but the things we actually want. And that was like a big, in terms of clarity of just going, we don't actually need to make a lot of money to live the lifestyle we want to live. And so then we started to go, okay, well, what if we just slow down and actually started creating the lifestyle we want now? And trying to do that as much as we can, and just living that way now, and then make the business work around that, right? And that's the whole thing with the microgreens, right? Is creating the lifestyle we want before we've made the money, and then creating the business to work around the lifestyle.
That it's so counterintuitive. Richie Norton, in his book Anti-Time Management, he calls that we tend to build moats before we build our castles. And when we do that, we often end up building moats to protect our castles, economic moats, in places that we don't want to live. And most of us basically never get to the place where we actually are living the life we want because we're so absorbed in building this moat first. So money is really kind of like so often it is not really the answer that we think it is. It's useful, but it's like an accelerator. It's an amplifier. It magnifies what already is. It doesn't enable something new. And so money will just take the lifestyle that you already have and make it more so. And so if you're not living the life you want in order to get the business success you want, you're just going to get more of the life you don't want once you get the business success. So you've got to start with what makes sense for you. You know, you're trying to look for how you can serve people with a business. The first thing you need to do is you actually need to sit down and go, what do I want out of this? Otherwise, it's not going to be sustainable. You're going to run out of motivation and enthusiasm for the project pretty quick. If it's all just about other people and it's not fitting into what you actually want for life, you're going to burn yourself out. So, right? So this week, to move the business forward, we are going to want to refresh the ads because those ads have been running for about 2 to 3 weeks now without an update, and I think we can optimize them a little because we got such a small audience. That means that people have started seeing them 2, 3, 4 times. So a little bit of a refresh would be good. It'd be good if we could get that done this week. We also want to get a sign made of some kind and just figure out what our little booth space will look like for the trade show. So we need to have time to actually get anything printed that we need to get printed. Oh yeah, we got our cards in right here. Ordered 250. They look super good. On the back, we got kind of some ideas on how to use it and a little coupon code that they can use to try and get people to take the first bite and purchase online. So these look super good. So we got to start getting these out to some people this week. Of course, we'll hand out lots of those at the trade show. We also got in the freeze drying ones. I'm super happy with how these look. They're just super fun. Somehow we've been operating without business cards for freeze drying Alberta for a very long time. And these cards. So we got the business cards in, and so that part's taken care of. But beyond that, the goal beginning this quarter is to not take it too hard. There's some sicknesses going around. So one, just resting, taking it easy, not pushing too hard, make sure that we stay healthy. But also, just not hustling so hard. We pushed pretty hard last quarter to get the business up, get it going. So this quarter, we want to focus on things like training the kids in the business, but also training the kids in the kitchen and culinary sciences type stuff. Just doing stuff with them around the house, training them up. So we want to have lots of margin for that. Right now, the kids are at Auntie Tina's. She watches them a couple times a week in the afternoons, which is great because that allows Jill to take a nap, which she is right now. Otherwise, it's kind of hard to fit that stuff in. So trying not to push too hard this week. We also have one video editing client right now, and he's got a couple videos in the queue for me to edit. So sometime in the next week or two, I would like to get those edited and up on his YouTube channel. Right now, I've actually been waiting for an Amazon package to come in, and it looks like it's been left at the front door. So let's go get that. I am super excited about this. This one of the things that I did on our quarter break was to sell our phone, which was really hard because it was the nicest phone I've ever owned. It was a beautiful phone. I loved it, but it was starting to get a little old, and it was time for a change. So we ordered one, but then our phone ended up selling a day before our new phone came in the mail. So that was a little bit I don't know, I just had butterflies in my stomach and things, so I've been anxious for the new phone to come in. It's not actually a new phone, but this is actually a refurbished phone from Amazon, so we'll see how that looks. We've had pretty good luck with our phones in our married life. They've lasted a long time, made our dollar go a long way, I guess. Even though I've always been an Apple guy, we've always ended up buying Androids just because you get more bang for your buck. So I am super excited to finally get to try out an iPhone. Here we go. Obviously not the original box. I don't know if you can see that color. Yeah, you can. Green iPhone 13. This is supposed to be in excellent condition. First look, it looks pretty good. So the thing I'm curious to find out is how much more intuitive this feels to me, being a Apple computer user forever, but having got used to the Android stuff. Super excited. All right, I'm gonna play with this for a bit.